Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is BeatStreet Sports Talk Radio. I am your host, Lee, a.k.a. the Hoops Guru, along with my partner in crime, Mr. Know-It-All himself, my brother Ed. This is Week 15 we're going into in the NFL, so we're doing our prediction show today. We're going to go through all the games. We got a head-to-head matchup going on for the whole season, and I believe it's neck and neck, or I'm a game up somewhere in there. So these picks are very crucial. Ed, what's going on, man?
Good, brother. What's the deal?
Chilling, man. Just listening to a little instrumental here, getting ready for Week 15. They're hitting us with a banger off the gate, man. San Diego at Denver. I guess that's better than what we had last week. I guess they should have given us 2 games after the crap they gave us last week. But this is a real interesting game, so I'm kind of happy they gave us this one. So, you ready to get to it?
Waiting on you.
Waiting on you, man. You are able to show some interjection into the show. You're co-hosting, my brother. A little bit of, I know you got a Madden game on hold, but just, you'll be all right. Now, San Diego, like I said, at the Denver Broncos.
Right.
Go ahead, man. Set it off.
Let's see. You got Denver at home. I believe if they get a win, and I believe if somebody else gets a loss, they'll officially get home field advantage in the playoffs. I don't think all the scenarios they need are going to happen this week, but you have San Diego coming in. Basically, they're one game below 500. I think they're like 6 and 7. They basically have to win out. They have a chance to make the playoffs. So I'm expecting them to come into this game and basically just leave it all on the line, maybe onside kick, and do whatever they got to do to get the W so they can try to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Denver defense, a lot of people have been saying, is one of the poorest units, but it's not like it's the Bears or Cowboys. And even though Denver is down Wes Welker, they're supposed to be using one of the other tight ends or the backup wide receivers. So I'm still going to go ahead and go with Peyton, despite it being 37 degrees the game temp time. But I just don't see San Diego walking up in here getting a W.
Well, I think I agree with you, man. I think Peyton Manning is going to even be a little more focused with this cold weather just to make a point. He proved it last week. He can throw in the bad weather. And I see more of the same. Even though Wes Walker isn't playing, they do have other weapons that, Peyton's smart enough to go to, pick apart. I think this may be one of those high-scoring games. I don't know if it'll be high-scoring as the Dallas-Denver game, but I do think San Diego will be able to put points on the board, but Denver will be able to get the stops that San Diego won't be able to get, and that'll be the difference in the game. And Denver should win this one at home and have a chance to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, contingent on what happens on some of these other games. Another game we have, which I'm sure you're excited to talk about, is the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, Jesus. You got Buffalo at Jags. I know the Jags have been pretty decent against the run lately, and I know they'll be at home. And I believe that they're saying MJD, they don't know if he's going to be starting or not because he has a hamstring, so the young man Tyrman might be going. But as usual, I'm refusing to take the Jags under no cost and or rhyme or reason, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Buffalo and hope that E.J. Manuel and the running game do what they need to do, and they're able to escape from Jacksonville with a W.
I'm real tempted to pick Jacksonville, man, but 2 weeks in a row, man.
They got the longest winning streak in the AFC.
That's just a little too risky for my blood. Even though I think Buffalo is beatable, I still think they're going to go down there and get this win this week. Buffalo's been a weird team for me all year. I've been kind of hit and miss with them. And to be honest with you, I don't have a great reason to pick Buffalo over Jacksonville. because their record isn't much better, to tell the truth. Matter of fact, what is it? Buffalo is 4-9, and what is Jacksonville? Jacksonville is 4-9. So they're actually tied. You know what, man? I'm gonna do it, man. I'm riding with the Jaguars again, bro. I don't think Buffalo's significantly better, and I think Jacksonville may actually believe in themselves right now. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to them. I'm picking Jacksonville at home.
All right.
Another ugly game to talk about, man. Houston at Indianapolis. It's so bad they had to change the beat on you.
Well, this is the thing. This is one of the teams that Case Keenum blazed up for, I believe, like 350 yards because the fact that the coach refused to play zone and play man-to-man like they got corners like that. And that game's in Indy, right?
Yes.
All right. So I can't do it. I think Houston is my new Jacksonville. I can't take them regardless of who they're playing. So I'm just going to go ahead and the Colts need to go ahead and continue winning games. It's not as if they're in danger of losing the division because the division is quite sorry and no one's close to them to take it from them. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Colts, go with luck, and I'm just going to say that the Colts should go ahead and hopefully find some way to win the game, or maybe Case Keenum will play sorry. But I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Colts because they're at home.
Hey, I'm going to do my Michael Jackson. Who's bad? Who's bad? The Houston Texans are bad, man. Them brothers are bad. In Indianapolis, they're not playing well either, but I'm going to pick them at home. I think they'll pick them dudes apart and score a lot of points. Like I said, Houston's just ready to call it a season, so they're just going through the motions. My biggest thing, though, is not worrying about this game for the Colts, but, man, the team's going to be pretty lucky to play them in the playoffs, don't you think?
Yeah, right now you have to say so. They're not playing well at all, and like I say, the way they play man coverage on these wide receivers is ridiculous. I don't know what's wrong with the defense coordinator.
Yeah, man. It just seems like it's on. I think the team that plays them, man, I think it's going to be almost a bye. So, and watch somebody like New England Patriots get them, which will get them closer to another Super Bowl, having an easy opponent like the Colts, because they just don't resemble the team that started off the season at all, which is unfortunate. But hey, that's why we play every game. The thing in sports is you got to hold it together for 16 games.
Mm-hmm.
They played a good first part, but this back half has been horrible, and it's going to be somebody's real advantage in the playoffs, man. But let's move on. Philadelphia at Minnesota.
Oh, I'm rolling with my man Chip Kelly. So you got Minnesota. They're saying further to the AP wasn't going to play. Him being the warrior that he is, he's going to try to find a way to get in the field. So I won't be surprised if he plays. You still got Matt Castle at quarterback, and their defense is horrible. So I look for Shady and the real number 9 to put numbers up, and go into Minnesota to get the victory. Own way, Minnesota has a chance that AP is going to go gangbusters, which the Eagles defense, they've been holding people under 21 points a game, which, is a lot, but due to the fact that the Eagles have a high-flying offense, they can put up 30+, they can outscore them with the defense, go ahead and hold down Minnesota. I don't see Minnesota scoring 21 points unless Cordell Patterson gets off on some short routes or does some things in the return game. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pick for the beginning of the year to win the NFC East, the Eagles.
And nobody actually had that little caveat in there, man. I see what you're going at, though. But, hey, I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles as well. They're on the roll. They believe in themselves. Minnesota, the elements or anything in Minnesota shouldn't be an issue. Minnesota has been playing teams pretty tight, but for some reason, they just haven't been able to close out. I mean, I think they've lost they probably lost 3 or 4 games this year. They could have easily won. They came down to the wire, they lost in overtime, or they had a tie. But unfortunately, that's the biggest difference. I think Philadelphia will go in there and win handily. So they'll continue to keep their stranglehold, their small stranglehold on the NFC East. Shady McCoy, man, props to him, man. He really showed he can play in all elements, man. That was a dominant performance he had last week in that 8 inches of snow he was running in. It was 8 feet. That'd be something too crazy. Yo, imagine brother playing 8 feet of snow.
There you go.
But yeah, man, he was playing them 8 inches, man, 8 inches, and did his job, man. But let's move on. Seattle Seahawks at the New York Football Giants.
I'm not even gonna waste my time on this. Seattle, go ahead and go in New York, beat down the Giants, and go back to the home to the Great Midwest.
Listen, this is the type of game the Giants are dumb enough to win because everybody's throwing in the towel on them, and they resemble a team that resembles a team somebody thought they would be. But I don't understand why this team has sucked so bad this year. But there's no way I could vote for them. I think they'll go in and get beat down just like they got beat down last week in San Diego. So Seattle shouldn't have any worries about keeping their number one seed in the NFC altogether. I don't think the Giants will give them much resistance at all. This is a very interesting game. San Francisco 49ers at Tampa Bay.
Really?
I think it is.
Man, please, this is just like the game you just said. San Fran's going to go to Tampa. They'll go and punch them in the mouth. Now, Tampa's very good against the run, but the San Francisco running game is unique, not only with Kaepernick, but also with the formations and things they come up with. And if they go ahead and try to be all stout against the run, Kaepernick is having Crabtree back, Manningham, and his other weapons with Vernon Davis. They have more than enough to go ahead and exploit them in the passing game. So I'm going to go and take San Francisco.
You know what? This is one of those games where my brain is like saying, man, go ahead, take this gamble on Tampa Bay. People are sleeping, but this game is pretty winnable the way they've been playing lately. But my heart has got me too chicken to do it, bro. So if they win, if Tampa Bay wins, man, just remember I started, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I just can't do it, especially how crucial we are at this point in the season. And San Francisco is showing probably the most health they've shown in the last 2 years, let's say, as far as being healthy. So in that regard, I just can't do it. But I am surprised in the way Tampa's been playing lately, but I'm still picking San Francisco. Chicago at Cleveland.
That may be an Elements game because it's going to be in Cleveland. So it may be some cold winter weather conditions. Jay Cutler has just been named the starter. He's going to be playing in that particular game. They took the hot hand out with McCown. Now, Denver does have a very good, I'm not Denver, but the Browns do have a very good defense. But the thing is, Jason Campbell will be the quarterback. Him and Josh Gordon has been making big plays in the passing game. They don't really have a run game, which is where the Bears are most vulnerable. Just for the purposes of playoff positioning, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the Bears. I wouldn't be totally surprised if Cleveland won, but just because of the fact the Bears need this, since they did get into that tie with the loss that Detroit took, I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears from pretty much, go all out to escape there with a W, but I wouldn't be surprised if the game leads to a shootout.
Well, you know what? I'm actually going to go the opposite direction of you. I'm actually going to pick the Cleveland Browns. And the reason I'm picking Cleveland is I think when you have a game like Chicago had last week with such no resistance on their offensive end, I think when you play against a good defense the next week, it seems that much more impressive or imposing because you had no resistance the week before. And plus, on top of that, just throwing Cutler back into the game and starting now in these elements, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that at all. You know I'm not a big Cutler fan anyway, so on that note, I'm going to pick Cleveland, man. I think they'll be enter at home. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the dice on them boys. I don't even think that's much of a roll of dice. I think they can win that game, though. Here is a beautiful game. Washington at Atlanta.
He would like to be funny, huh? That's what it is? Like to be funny?
No, I like to hype you up and let you down, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, you got the Skins coming in. RG3 is on the bench for the rest of the year. Got Kirk Cousins coming in. I think this Kirk Cousins situation is going to be interesting because if he comes in there and orchestrates their offense and gets other people involved, it's going to be a big indictment on RG3 in reference to him reading defense and going through progressions, similar to what the indictment was against Mike Vick when Nick Cole got in there. So I'm going to go ahead and take Atlanta because they're at home. You got Matty Ice, still got Gonzalez, Roddy White stepping his game up, Harry Douglas. Steven Jackson might do a little something because their defense is very porous. And I think that the crowd noise may have an effect upon Kirk Cousins trying to call audibles and things in the Georgia Dome. So I'm going to go and take the Falcons.
This is a real ugly game for me. And because Atlanta's, they've shown a little bit last week against a hurt and depleted Green Bay team, but they still want to lose in that game. This one's in the Dome, so they're not going to be playing in the elements. I think that is going to be a factor. Matt Ryan may be a little bit better. But a part of me really wants to pick Washington, man. I have a feeling the Redskins are going to rally behind that Kirk Cousins and play a much more effective game than they've been playing with RG3. I just think RG3 may be, I don't want to say this about Dubé, he may be somewhat toxic, man, right now with that team. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick Atlanta just because they're at home playing in the Dome. But I really think they're gonna lose this game. I do. I have them they are, man. But I'm gonna play it safe and go with Atlanta. The Jets at Carolina.
Oh, I'm going to kill the Cam. And with the Jets, the Jets do, like, as we know, the Jets have a very good defensive front.
Man, pick them balance again.
No. The Jets do have a very good defensive front. The secondary is not bad. They can get a little bit, but this type of game is going to come down to turnovers. And I trust Cam more than I trust Geno, and I think Carolina may have a slight advantage in the special teams. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I'm going to go ahead and take Carolina because they're the better team. And I just think that despite the Jets defensive front causing Cam problems, I just think that him and Steve Smith will be able to make enough plays to win the game.
Well, it's going to be pretty rainy here in the southeast. I don't know if they're going to get maybe like freezing rain even in Carolina. I don't think they're going to get snow, but it's definitely going to rain a lot during that game. But still, man, I'm not picking the Jets. Can't pick the Jets. I don't care what they did last week. I don't know how you picked them dudes to win. I'm still blown off of that. But they're not going down to Carolina right now. Not what Carolina has at stake, knowing that they got New Orleans, I think, at home next week. They're not going to lose that game, so I'm picking Carolina. Kansas City at Oakland.
Oakland, they haven't named a starter this week. I don't know if it's McGowan or not, or it's going to be TP. I don't know. Matter of fact, I think McFadden may be still out with a high ankle sprain, so I think Rashad Jennings may be back this week playing concussion. So they're at home. That's going to be a thing to their benefit, but it's Kansas City. Kansas City always gives the Raiders hell, so I'm going with the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, the Chiefs, they had a little bump 3-game losing streak, but, they bounced back, killing the Redskins last week, and, this is another team they should handle it and get their confidence back heading into the playoffs. So I'm picking Kansas City going to Oakland and handle their business as well. Arizona at Tennessee.
Arizona at Tennessee.
You thinking long and hard about that one?
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking about my man Honey Badger. He messed around and got hurt for the year with torn MCL and ACL, young safety out of LSU. So that's going to hurt the secondary some. But I know they have a good defensive front against the run. They're going against Fitzpatrick, even though they're going to be home. I'm going to go ahead and go with Arizona only because I think that Carson Palmer should be able to make some plays to Fitzgerald and to the other wide receiver. And I just think they're just a better team overall. And Fitzpatrick is efficient, but he doesn't really throw a lot of touchdowns to win games. So I think that Arizona somehow is going to be able to come out with that W.
Well, I'm picking Arizona as well because, one, they're still in the thick of it as far as the playoffs concerned, and Tennessee is not. And I think when those realities are set in both teams, there's a different attitude that teams actually approach the game. Unless you have a veteran team that wants to play spoiler, I don't think Tennessee's really built like that. And Arizona's they are a good team. Like I said, a loss from San Francisco or someone puts them right back in the thick of things. So I think they'll be playing with that type of passion, and they should win a defensively game. I think you're looking at like a 20-17 or 24-17 type of game here. And I'll leave it at that. So I'm picking the Cardinals to win on the road. Green Bay at Dallas.
Terrible. Well, I know A-Rod is not playing this week, and I cannot believe that without turnovers, which Atlanta gave Green Bay last week, I refuse to believe that the Cowboys are going to give them no turnovers to win the game. So by default, despite them having the worst defense in the league, I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys. And they should, again, DeMarco Murray will look like a running back this week because he's going against another star defense against the run. So he should have a big game, which will go ahead and limit Romo's throws and keep that star defense on the bench. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
All right, man, I tell you, the Cowboys lose this one, man. I don't know what to say, but Green Bay, they've been pretty toast for the last few weeks. They had a fluky win last week. They should not be able to go into Dallas and win this game, especially for a team that has aspirations of winning the NFC East. I mean, it was in their full control. Last week they got embarrassed last week, Monday by the Chicago Soul. I'm thinking they should be going into this game beast mode. So I'm picking Dallas in that regard to win, and especially because they're at home. Dallas at home, but you never know with that squad. This one's going to be a hard one, too. New Orleans at St. Louis.
I'm not going to waste people's time. I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, man. Them brothers are looking good, man. The hippie Ryan brother, he got them dudes playing defense, man. That's what they've always lacked, So they look real good this year. I'm really not surprised. I'm a little bit surprised because they seem a little more powerful than they seemed before. It's not just one-sided, and that's a good thing to see with the Saints. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
Oh, you know me. I'm going with the most complete teams on both sides of the ball in the AFC. I'm taking them Bengals. Because the thing is that they're the better team, younger players, faster, and they want to go ahead and keep winning to, try to maintain their spot in the playoffs. So I know Pittsburgh is going to be scrambling. They had that loss last week to Miami, and I'm going to go ahead and have them get another one because I just think that Cincinnati will be able to get pressure on Ben and help out on Antonio Brown, even though they do have some issues in the secondary. I'm still taking my Bengals.
And I was like, really, 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 really tempted to pick Pittsburgh until you said that one thing, bro. They did lose to Miami last week, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. And because of that, I can't do it, man. I can't see them beating the way Cincinnati's playing right now, even if they're at home. I just can't see it. I'm going to have to pick even though, they're on a 3-game winning streak, and I do think, good things do come to an end, something about Pittsburgh ain't right. And last week, I don't know if it was, but they were at home. So there's no excuse there. So in that regard, I have to pick Cincinnati to win that game on the road. And you know what? I'm glad I checked because it looks like I did forget a game. I don't believe I did that. I'm glad I checked. New England at Miami.
Miami's been playing real good ball. They got that thing, they went and got the W last week, kept them in playoff contention. I believe they have the same record as Baltimore, so they're trying to keep pace. I know New England has been pulling out these close victories these past 3 weeks in a row, but I can't do it. I gotta go. Even though Miami has a better defense, I gotta go with Tom Terrific. So I'm going with Tom Terrific to go to Miami and get the dub.
let me see, man. New England right now, damn, they're 10-3. If Belichick doesn't give Coach of the Year, I don't know who should get it, man. Like
it's not gonna be him.
I know it's not, and the great ones just like Phil Jackson always get taken for granted. But what he's done this year with the Patriots is remarkable. For all the injuries and the new personnel, they've done a hell of a job, man. I mean, that record's impressive. 10-3. They got a great command over that division, and you know what? It's gonna go to 11-3, man. They're gonna go down to Miami and just, pick them apart like Tom Terrific and Belichick do, and get this win on the road. But yeah, man, Belichick to me, he should get real consideration for a coach. I don't even know if he's ever won it before, but he definitely should this year, I think. Baltimore at Detroit, Monday night.
Both teams need this win. Both teams have the same record. I'm going to go ahead and go with Detroit. Not only are they home, I know the young rookie safety for Baltimore. In the same sentence, respected and disrespected Megatron in the same sentence. He said that Megatron was he said Megatron was fast, big, and athletic and acrobatic. And then the next sentence he says, but he's kind of old, and old players don't like to go ahead and have physical play placed upon them. And then Calvin in return said that he's going to go ahead and show him how old he is, even though he's 28 years old. He's going to show him how old he is and show him that old man's strength, and that the only time he'll be seeing him is if he'll be running past him since he's a safety. So they didn't went ahead and poke the bear, and he should be wanting to improve upon the lackluster performance he had in the snow against the Eagles. And even though Baltimore has a good defense, I just don't think that Flacco and that horrible offensive line is going to be able to make enough plays against Sue and Fairley to walk out of that dome with a W.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. They're in the cozy confines of the dome. Like you said, your man gonna mess with CJ for real. And Baltimore is not like that anyway. They pulled out. To me, after you get a miracle like they got last week, just be humble, man. But they chose not to, and I think that'll cost them. Plus, Detroit they're due to get back on track anyway. And is my boy Reggie Bush playing this week, or he's up and down again?
He's not practicing, but he's scheduled to play.
Okay, but I mean, it just sucks. Like he's getting his Michael Vick on lately, man, with like not just being reliable. Because when he can play, he's very, very effective, man. But he can't stay on the field. It seems like he's guaranteed to miss like 3 or 4 games a year, which is unfortunate. But in any case, I'm still gonna pick Detroit to get this win at home. So there we have it, man. We got all the games for this week picked. There's a few caveats in there here and there that might make a difference this week. But there's some I probably should have had a little heart with to jump out on the ledge with. But this deep in the season, man, I'm dialing it back a little bit. So we will see. Anything you need to add to it, man, before we get out of here?
No, we'll just go ahead and see how weather either does or does not affect the games this week. I don't think there's any bad winter warnings on the horizon that I'm aware of. So hopefully we'll have some nice weather games, and we won't have games decided by weather.
Hey, Jameis Winston, hands down, Heisman this week.
Well, you never know. You don't know how moralistic some of these voters are going to be just for the mere fact that he was even in the allegations, despite the fact that he didn't get charged. So because of that and the fact that I've never seen 6 Heisman candidates before, it throws in there a possibility that he won't win it, but I would really be surprised if he doesn't win it. So I'm still going to say he's odds-on favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I think once the smoke cleared, I think some guys may relax, and he may get it. And if there's 6 guys in there, even the ones that don't get him, I think won't be enough for the other coaches, for the other players to get enough to beat him. So in that regard, I think he'll be the guy. And that's it, man. We'll do our Saturday show, give you guys a full gamut on the NBA. Until then, thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. This is BeatStreet Sports Talk Radio. Peace.
So I'm never empty, writer's block never tempts me. With 20 albums I mastered this evidently. So I ask you gently, you don't see how to spot me over pop for my classic medley. I can't stop, the people won't let me. I don't talk sexy, but I do come correctly and you can check me. But just don't compare me to the next G, KRS-One. When you get older you'll respect me. So if you think you're too old, you're thinking that you're too cold, you gave up on your 2 goals, the system. I'm giving you a new soul, you're never ever too old.